So, guys, long time no see. Tell the truth Monday. Really pleased with our victory over Florida. Really pleased with all the players that stepped up, brought some tremendous energy to our practice. I'm pleased with the coaching staff. They fought together. It was a hard-fought victory. We're going to enjoy this today. We're a 24-hour rule. +4 turnover margin. On offense, great play by the offensive line. I think they're the most – no, I don't think – I know they're the most improved unit on our football team. Tyron Davis-Price for 287 yards. What a tremendous night. Ran the ball hard. No turnovers on offense. On defense, 4 interceptions. Scored on it was a big turnover and held them to 136 yards, almost half of the yards they were giving up rushing. Glenn Logan helped us in the middle. I thought Neil Farrell had his best game as a Tiger. And on special teams, we blocked an extra point. A lot of good things. We're going to show it in the team meeting today. We're going to celebrate the victory, and then we have to move on to Ole Miss. Talk about Ole Miss a little bit. As far as Lane, I think that Lane is, if not the best play caller in the country, one of the top 3 best play callers in the country. He has an outstanding football mind. He's doing a great job at Ole Miss. I'm very happy for him. I know that he's a fighter, and he comes from a football family. I know he's going to have his team ready to play. Matt Corral is one of the top players in the country. Is very fast, can run the football, throw the football. The thing about, you can see Matt Corral play. He plays with his heart. He plays with character, and he's very tough. They have the 3rd-ranked offense in the country. They're very hard to stop. Any questions?
Yeah, hey, Coach. There was a report that came out this morning that Coy Moore has entered the transfer portal. Is that something you can confirm? And I also have just a quick follow-up as well.
Yeah, I have not talked to Coy, and if he has entered the transfer portal, I don't know anything about it.
Okay. And then, there was also some news this morning that it sounds like Matt Corral was pretty beaten up in that last game against Tennessee. Coach Kiffin doesn't know if he's going to be ready to play this week. Could you just talk about, their quarterback room as a whole, and maybe some of you guys know about their backups as well?
Well, we just started looking at them, obviously. We just started studying Ole Miss. I've been looking at Matt Corral all morning, and we're expecting him to play. But we're gonna study a second-team quarterback. But knowing Matt and knowing Coach Kiffin, he's kind of throwing me a smoke screen.
Yeah, maybe so. Hey, Ed, Scott Rabelais. Obviously, Ty Davis-Price has played great these last 2 weeks, but 58 carries total. Are you eager to get someone else a little more involved in the running game because of that? And if so, who might that be?
Yes, we'd love that. We'd love to. But you know what? Ty was doing such a good job that we wanted to give him the football. He kept on coming up the field, coach, give me the ball. Give me the ball. So I am. Go get it. And but we'd like to get the young guys in. Corey Connor, we'd like to get Amani in. Get them some reps, get those guys some repetitions and get them some snaps. But as long as Ty is running like he is, we're going to give him the ball as many times as he can handle it.
Hey, Coach, good morning. I wanted to ask you about Jaray Jenkins. I know you've recruited this country coast to coast. How many players have you gotten out of Gina, Louisiana? And talk about his big performance.
Very proud of Jaray, and very proud of Jaray. Several times I named him team captain. He's a leader for us. Come from Gina, obviously went through a huge hardship right when he got here, overcame it. His family's proud of him. His high school coach is proud of him. The whole town of Gina's proud of him. He's an excellent young man. Big-time game. He made some big plays in a big-time game. I'm proud of him. And I'm glad that he stuck with it. There were some times where some freshmen were getting maybe more balls than he was. He never said nothing. He kept on working. Ultimate team player.
And can I ask you about the touchdown on 4th down? Max seemed to do an amazing job of body control. It did like a 360 and then threw the touchdown.
Yeah, there was 2 guys on block. They were coming. They were blitzing, and they were getting us everything we got. I thought it was a great call by Jake Peets and an excellent play by Max, by keeping his balance and getting to throw the ball.
Hey, Coach O, Garland Gill and Fox 8 New Orleans here. I know last night, you told us you talked to 2 recruits yesterday. This morning you lost a significant recruit from the New Orleans area. What's the message to recruits going forward with the early signing day right around the corner?
Well, I'm going to continue to recruit for LSU. And just because I'm not going to be here, LSU hasn't changed. They're a great school with a great tradition. From the state of Louisiana, it's a big plus for you to come to school at LSU. A lot of great players before have come to LSU and had a lot of success. So I'm going to continue to sell LSU.
And we've sort of gone over it a lot, I guess, but like the offensive line, I mean, you call it, the most improved position group. Just how has this changed really so fast?
Well, I think you're seeing it, Wilson, as fast, okay? But I've seen it in practice in little increments. And ever since Coach Davis has come, and I know what he's trying to teach him, and I know the difference between him and Coach Craig. I can notice a difference, and it just took a little while for our guys to get used to. But I know what you're saying, that we're running the ball at a much better pace right now. But I've seen little increments in practice. Like there's a bump combo. The guys are getting off the ball and attacking guys off of the football. And now he's put it all together. And finally, we're all healthy. I think you're seeing a combination of, I think Coach is a great coach, and we got some good players believing in his scheme, and they're healthy.
Hey, Ed, Adam Hunsucker. Do you remember when you first met Lane Kiffin in your career, and how has your relationship with him evolved from being a coworker to your boss and now, I guess, a rival on the field?
I remember I'm with Pete Carroll, and he asked me a question. He says, Eddie, I can hire an older, experienced coach, or I can hire a young, go-get-it coach that I think can help us in recruiting. I said, well, why don't we get a guy that can help us in recruiting? And it was Lane Kiffin. He was a young coach in Colorado State with Sonny Lubick, I do believe, which was Monty Kiffin's son. And Monty and Lane are best friends. And I remember sitting in the recruiting meeting. I was a recruiting coordinator, and we were evaluating some talent. And I liked the guy, and Lane didn't. and you know what? He was right. And he earned my respect. He earned my respect from day one. Lane and I became very close, me being the recruiting coordinator. He was our out-of-state recruiter. He brought in some tremendous – in fact, he taught us how to recruit out-of-state at USC. He brought in a lot of number one draft picks. He recruited every day he could. He was on the road 7 days a week, working from Florida to New York. I think the guy's a tireless recruiter. He's a great recruiter, and he's a great evaluator of talent.
Hey, Coach. Leah Van from The Advocate. I'm just wanting to ask about recruiting again. What are you telling these recruits when it comes to like them being really sold on you being their head coach? I know recruiting's a lot about relationships.
Yeah, you know what? That I can't change, obviously. But I do know that, like I said, there's a lot of things LSU can sell. There's, LSU, you come to LSU, you're going to get a great education. You're going to network. None of that's going to change. You're going to have a chance to play in the SEC. None of that changes. You're going to come here and compete against some of the best players in the country. So none of that changes.
Hey, good morning, Coach. I got two questions. One, I'll start with the Lane one. What is that relationship like? You're a little older than him. Is it a big brother, little brother? Like good needling fun? Because he does seem like a fun guy.
Yeah. Sometimes it's like that. Sometimes it's like best friends. Sometimes it's coach to coach. It all depends. But we do have the utmost respect for each other. And we do know each other's strengths and weaknesses, and we've kind of fed off of it when we coached together. And I'll never forget when I went to Tennessee, he said, I'm going to treat you like the assistant head coach. And he actually did. He gave me a lot of responsibility. We worked well together. Obviously we won 2 championships at USC together. We built that recruiting class. We all worked hand in hand, me, him, and Coach Carroll, and all the other assistants were always together. So we got to know each other very well.
And then my other one would be about Corral again. Watching their game against Tennessee, he is a willing runner, a lot more physical, I guess, than I would expect that position with what they want to do. Could you speak to that aspect of his game?
Yeah, and he ran a 21 flat, 200 meters, fast, strong. He's competitive, and he feeds off the energy of the game. And the quarterback draws, the quarterback runs, and him just extending plays with his feet. He's going to fight, push to get to the goal line, whatever it takes. He's a tremendous competitor. I believe if he's not the best player in the country, one of the best players in the country.
Hey, Coach, Shea Dixon here. When you face an offense like Ole Miss and your game planning, I guess overall, does it shift any? Is there a sort of mentality of play keep away or run the football, or is it just kind of stick to what you do?
Well, if you play keep away, you might not score as many points as you need to play. That's got to come into play. And there's going to have to be some ball control if he goes fast every down. And our defense is going to have to substitute. If he's scoring at a high rate, there's going to have to be some ball control to give our defense a break. But if he's scoring at a high rate, that means we have to score at a high rate. It all depends how the game's going.
Are you prepping for this as whoever gets to 50 first, whoever gets to 60 first is going to win this game?
Yeah, I don't want to say that. No, it all depends. We'll see. Hopefully we play better defense than that.
Ed, a couple of things, if I could, please. Kind of a funny moment. Did you see Kiffin get hit by the golf ball? And what did you think of that? And two, how do you motivate the guys over the last stretch of the season when they know that you're not going to be here?
Well, first of all, I've been an interim coach already. And so I feel that I think the pressure's been let out the tank. I think everybody was hearing all the stuff now. Now it's done. Now we can just go out and concentrate on football and play football. I think we're going to play a lot freer. I think that we're going to have some great practices. Our guys want to beat Ole Miss. Our guys like winning. So there's a lot of young players mixed in with some old players. So I think that we're going to practice very well. And we know that Ole Miss presents a challenge. Everybody sees it on TV. Everybody sees the offense. So we're going to step up to the plate as a challenge. I did not see the actual golf ball being thrown at him or him being hit. I heard about it, but I believe in that.
Hey, Coach, last year it took a Herculean effort basically from Kayshawn and Max to out-duel against Matt Corral and that offense. It seems like this year the offense is finally finding a new identity and a new groove. How do you feel about the ability to keep pace with them going into Saturday?
Well, I do believe that they're going to present a challenge. We have to play better defense than we did last year, but the interceptions and the turnovers that we had last year helped us. I don't believe when you go against Lane that field goals are going to help you much. Although we have the best field goal kicker, in my opinion, in the country. I think anytime that you get in scoring territory, you're going to have to go down. You have to go for it on fourth down like we did last year to score as many points as we can.
And how do you teeter the balance between ball control and not settling and playing keep away?
Yeah, it all depends the course of the game. If our defense is tired and we need a break, we're going to have to go ball control. But if they're scoring at a rapid pace and we got to score at a rapid pace to keep up with them, we're going to have to do that. It all depends on the pace of the game.
Hey, Ed, how you doing today? You talked about the offensive line being healthy. What's the status of Chasen Hines and also Anthony Bradford got a little dinged up early? And also, how did Marlon Martinez play when he got to play a lot?
Yeah, Anthony's fine. Anthony's fine. I thought we would have to get half the team to pick him up off the field. He's so heavy. I tease him all the time. I love Anthony. I recruited him from Michigan. He's a great young man, and he's playing very good right now. But he's fine. He can play. Marlon Martinez played very well for his first time out. I was very proud of him, the way he played. Chasen Hines is questionable right now. We're doing some more research. He's getting more tests. I don't know if he's going to be available this week. Right now, it's questionable.
Thanks.
Hey, Coach. This is Josh Sibley with Louisiana Gridiron Football. Did Coach Falk? Do you know if Coach Falk talked to Ty Davis Price after the game this week about his accomplishment? I know Coach Falk was on the 97 squad that beat Florida, and now Ty being on this squad, that was also such a heavy underdog against that Florida squad, and his accomplishment breaking the single game rushing record.
Hey, you know what? That's a great comparison, and I think that's very good on your part, Josh. In fact, Kevin had given me the cover of Sports Illustrated when he ran all over the Gators. So I think that that's a great comparison. I didn't even think of it. I'm sure they talked. Kevin's very close to his players. I'm sure they talk. I don't know for sure they talk, but I'm sure they have.
Hey, Coach. Steve Moulton, WZZN. I've got a couple, if I could, please, sir. You mentioned Neal on how well he played along the line. What impressed you most on what you saw in that game Saturday, Coach?
You know, I do believe with Glenn Logan coming back, he and Glenn are best friends. They've played with each other for 4 years. They feed off of each other. And the type of blocks that they were giving Neal was the favorite blocks for him to play. And I'll tell you what, it started off with the first snap. He came in, he got coming out of his hips, got underneath that guard's chin, knocked him back. And it was almost like that the whole game. And he was very active. I think he could feel the weight of the guard going forward. So he's giving him a little head fake and going outside and beating him a bunch of times, was in the backfield. The guy played his best game.
And, Coach, with this being such a high-profile job and just the pressure cooker that is being at a Power 5 job, what is it like today now moving forward for you? Is maybe some of the pressure off? What is it like for you, sir?
Well, every day is the same for me, one day at a time. Pressure or no pressure. You know, I put a lot on myself, and that's all that matters.
Ed, first game with Sage Ryan at nickel and Cordell Flott moving outside. What did you think of the job those two did in that role?
Very well. Excellent. A+.
Specifically with Sage in his first start, was there anything that you noticed that you really liked?
I really like his ability to adjust. He's very smart. In practice, there were some things that we had to adjust with, and it took him a couple of reps. But once he gets it, he gets it. He's able to cover. He's kind of like a corner slash safety playing at nickel. He has the physical attributes of a safety, and he has the foot speed of a corner. He's a perfect nickel for us, and he's a great competitor.
Hey, Ed, to try to piggyback here off Steve's question, you mentioned the pressure being lifted off of you at this team. Has that changed at all, kind of your mindset of coaching in these games, or just how you were approaching this mentally going to the end of the year?
Let me clarify. Steve mentioned the pressure letting off. I didn't agree to that. And, just living one day at a time. That's how I'm going to live the rest of my life. But you know what? I do believe it gives the team some clarity that, okay, it's done now. We understand. I've talked to the team. Now nobody has to talk about that no more. We don't have to listen to that no more. Now we know what's ahead of us. And now the focus can be on Ole Miss. The focus can be on football. And really the focus has always been, and it should be here, on our players. I want the best for our football players. So if all that that happened yesterday helps our players, I think it's great.
Coach, I was just curious, the game against Florida, given what you were playing with and the substitutions that you had to make on your roster, were you disappointed in the defensive performance, kind of knowing what you're going to be facing this weekend as well? Or were you pleased because, you had all those changes that you had to make?
Okay. I was pleased the first half. Okay. I was really, really worried the second half. But I knew this. Dan is a great game day caller. And he's going to find stuff. That's how they work. They're going to find stuff that can trick you. And we got tricked with a high discipline right there. He gave us some different things, gave us kind of the same type of play, but with a different player in a different position. And it took our guys a little time to adjust. And all the stuff was eye discipline. And if we can have great eye discipline, we're going to have it against Lane. Here's what Lane's going to do. He's going to see all the plays that have given us problems. He's going to run it at us again to see if we fix it.
Hey, Coach. Matthew Bruni here for 24/7 Sports. BJ Ojolari, obviously, big game stepping up for Ali Gay and Andre Anthony. Just what did you see from his performance specifically? Getting off the ball and getting to the quarterback.
Great rush on the edge. He beat the guy outside one time, inside the next time. And I thought he and Sony played pretty good on the edge with the quarterback for the most part. We made a couple of mistakes, but that was a good athlete in space right there. I thought they held the quarterback in check. They had a lot of responsibility. Our defensive ends had more responsibility against the Florida Gators than they had all year as far as quarterback reads, bluff plays, rushing the passer, traps, and all that stuff. I thought Andre did a very good job of preparing all of our ends.
Hey, Coach, you talked a little bit about Jack Mashburn's success of blocking on Saturday. Can you explain how a former high school quarterback who's listed under 230 pounds has success blocking like he can in college?
Well, he's grown a little bit, obviously, and Jack's tough. He's really tough, and I think that he's been waiting for his time here. He's always wanted to play at LSU, and he's got great hips. He's got great explosion. He has good feet, and he's very smart. And so I think all those attributes helped him. He's our starting tight end, in my opinion, right now. He's one of our better blocking tight ends. He's a great young man. I'm so happy for him. That it? Go Tigers.